run more than a half marathon. And at altitude. You ever run? Nice shoes, by the way. Look at this guy. That is true. So these shoes are my nasty, nasty running shoes. They're just gross, but I don't want to wear anything nice. Step into a puddle and that's that.
Microphone's on.
Think about getting some of those. What are they called? Hokas? Do you have Hokas?
That's what I got.
People like
Hokas?
I like the Hokas. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had many different types of running shoes.
What you got to do is look at the clearance in Schuler. Go to the clearance.
Schuler?
Schuler Clarence. Where is that? Maple Grove?
Isn't Schuler still really expensive?
That's why I go right to the clearance. Yeah.
Even the clearance? It's still
Well, the
expensive?
Hoka shoes you're going to pay 120 to 150 no matter like
Hoka? Really? That
But
seems more expensive.
clearance are 90.
It's more expensive than these.
Well, yeah, they're
Yeah.
like legit running shoes, not
Not style and shoes.
style or lifestyle.
Those-
Well,
yeah.
these are
It's
Yeah.
like Saturday night shoes.
they're part of the
Like-
running.
1974. Vintage.
Those are nice.
Early year old. They're from 2022.
What's that?
Yeah.
The running room
Yeah.
in.
They're expensive too. Everywhere that stuff's expensive, man.
I mean, running shoes are going to cost between right around $150 probably.
Yeah. But I got mine for like 90 in the
Yeah.
clearance.
On the clearance. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Even the clearance is
Yeah.
still
Do
expensive.
they
Right.
fit? Or are they a couple sizes too big?
No, no. They're having my size.
Apparently, they haven't helped your foot.
Exactly.
I haven't
Had
worn them
3
for a while.
injuries since buying the shoes, but you
Yeah.
got a good price on them.
I did.
What do you want?
4 ER bills, but
Are we
the
on?
shoes were a heck of a
You want
deal.
plantar? You want a sprained ankle? You want bad knees? Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey-o, friendos.
Welcome in, friendos. Hey, Bear. Hello, folks. All those favorite podcast shout-outs. Welcome.
Nate Bargatze's.
Yeah.
All his sayings.
Hope you're
I'm gonna
doing
sit
well
down
on this kind of yucky Thursday, March
Usually I like
16th.
standing,
It's raining. At least it's, 35, 40 degrees.
Remember Wayne's World?
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Remember when they have that scene where like they sell out and they're like promoting all their Garth is wearing all his Pepsi
Oh, sure.
stuff and
From the movie? Or
Is that the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
one? Wayne's World 2?
I don't remember, but
there was a
Okay.
second one?
Oh, yeah.
I just got a glimpse of myself right there, like my water bottle and my laptop with the Northridge
Yeah.
stickers, and then Northridge
Northridge
behind.
sellout.
Yeah. Got it everywhere.
You're sponsored by Northridge
Yeah.
every 2 weeks.
Yep. Every 2 weeks, getting sponsored. My sponsor ship comes in.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, we're okay.
What are you drinking? It's a bright red drink.
Yeah. Blood. Just kidding.
Is it Code Red?
No, it's the Gatorade from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
What was that stuff
red
called?
dye.
G2.
What's it called?
Tropicana?
Yeah, it was
Tropical Punch?
Tropical Punch. Yeah.
Yeah, or
Is that still around?
what's the dude
I
who
don't know.
breaks through the wall?
Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah, Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid
Man.
guy.
Yeah, but Tropical Punch, that was like it was a pop, right? It was in a can.
Yeah, came in a can. Did you guys?
That had to have been what, 90% sugar?
Probably, at least, yeah. Did you guys ever get when you were kids? Remember how juice would come in that giant can? It looked like a giant tin
Yeah.
can.
You
get the
use
can
the little
opener,
thing with
Oh,
the
yeah.
triangle opener on
Yep.
the side. Yeah,
You never opened it with like a actual
No.
soup
No.
can opener?
yeah. It was just like the little pop,
Yeah.
and then
And then you had to poke a hole on the other side.
like
to get
high
the air.
C or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
need a little airflow. Yeah, man, good times. Kids
Yeah.
will never know about that.
No. they're like-
80s.
They just have plastic stuff that they throw in the ocean and
Kill
kill
all
the turtles or whatever.
turtles.
I don't know. Then we have to get paper straws at Chipotle.
It's turtles like on Maui. Maui and Lanai, which are like across the valley from each other in Hawaii. The valley is submerged underwater, but on Lanai, there's so many turtles over there that they breed tiger sharks on Maui and drop them off over in Lanai to control the turtle population.
Wow.
So in some areas of the world, turtles
Yeah.
are doing just fine.
Yeah.
They need more Starbucks straws over there, it sounds like.
Actually, that's what we should open a bunch of Starbucks.
Oh, man.
stores.
There was a period at Chipotle in Rogers where they were doing the paper straws.
Yeah.
Oh, I would bring my own straws
Yeah.
because it would drive me nuts. And then because for church, we'd go to Chipotle after church like every week for a season. And I would,
Making sure.
I made sure that the volume. I bought a metal straw for one of the guys that we would go to lunch with, just because he also despised the paper straws. So
Now the cups are like all special where you can just drink right out of them,
Yeah.
right? Or do they do these straws?
Starbucks ones.
I know
Yeah, the
McDonald's was
Starbucks.
doing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the worst is?
There's like a lip on them now.
Shake Shack has paper straws. And it's like their shakes are so good, but they're so thick. And the straw just collapses trying to drink out. You can't.
Yeah, but at
drink
least they're made from like recyclable stuff. Like,
Yeah.
So they at least have a plastic feel to them, and they
It
don't.
still don't work.
But they don't, like, if you're drinking soda out of it, they don't like absorb the liquid.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for a milkshake.
Yeah.
They should give you a plastic straw.
Yeah. Ironically, I've never had a milkshake at Shake Shack.
Really? They're good, man. Good hamburgers.
Oh, one of my favorite.
They're good.
Places
It's very
in
good.
Maine.
Have you
You
been
ever
there?
had it?
No, I've never been to
Dude,
Shake
let's
Shack.
go.
We're going.
All right.
See ya.
Let's go.
I've never been to Shake Shack.
What?
Oh man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so
Shake
good.
Shack?
Better it's kind of like Culver's, the smash burger. It's kind of like Culver's, but it's better ingredients.
Okay.
Better fries.
I don't leave the house unless I come here. So these things you speak of, I'll have to get out.
Oh, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do that for
You'll
sure.
hang with me on one of my days off.
They have
When's your
outdoor
day
dining.
off?
When's your next day off? When's the next holiday?
Saturday.
Monday. When's the
Monday?
next Monday?
Easter.
holiday?
Let's go Easter Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Easter.
Right after.
9 o'clock in the morning. Let's
A
go.
break between the 8 and the
I might be
10.
a little busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. So you take Mondays?
Monday and Tuesdays.
Uh-oh. Zach
Look at that.
says he's never been to Shake Shack either. Poor
Zach.
Zach. Zach James. That's. Are we not allowed to say his last name?
I don't know.
His real last name?
That's what he's on social media with.
Incognito on social media.
I wonder, did
So
you
now we all
buy
know his
your
middle name.
Veritas guitar yet, Zach?
We all know his
Did you
middle
buy
name.
me a Veritas
Working?
guitar yet, Zach?
Oh,
Mike didn't know who it was.
oh, thanks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't
He's
know.
not on social media.
Well, I didn't know.
No, he
I'm-
had to see his picture. He's
I had to
like,
see a
who's Zach
picture,
James?
yeah. Interesting.
You didn't know his middle name?
No,
What, isn't that like day one of a small group? Okay, what's everyone's middle name?
that's true.
No.
Should be. Well, we started
Okay,
with,
what's everyone go by on Facebook?
we started with bank accounts, and then we went right on to medical records.
Yeah,
and
and
we didn't get to
social?
middle
You
names.
didn't get to
Yeah,
social
we didn't get to
security
middle
yet?
names. No. So
My wife made me change it, he said. Modern man, huh, Zach? You work at Tesla, they make you take. Never mind.
So,
what was I going to ask you? Oh, I need to ask you a question.
doing well.
No
You
Veritas
want to ask
yet,
it now?
Andy.
You want to ask it later?
I want to ask it now because I'll forget. We're going to Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
You've been there.
Yeah, my brother lives there.
That's right. And we looked up the Savannah Banana baseball
Yeah.
team.
Football team? Yeah.
It's like $500 a ticket.
well,
Yeah.
good luck getting a ticket.
Well,
They're
that's-
always
no,
all-
that's-
there was
that's
always
just it.
sold out.
yeah, they're all sold out. So then we went secondary market, and it was like $500.
Right.
So can you talk to your brother?
I can see if he can get you tickets. When are you going?
June. I'll send you the date. It's like third week of June or second week of June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they in town?
There was one day they were in town.
Because they're
yeah.
oftentimes in out of town playing
Yeah.
like the little circuit around Florida and Alabama. But yeah.
That's crazy because I remember you telling me about it,
Yep.
and then we were
They're
looking it up.
such a fun deal to see.
Apparently,
They
holy
play a
cow.
completely different game. The
Yeah.
rules are different.
Is
They're
it
called
really?
banana ball.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, I'm totally intrigued,
So for instance,
but apparently everybody else is too.
each inning is you can score as many runs as you want, but whoever scores the most runs in that inning, you get 1 point.
Oh,
And the game will only
didn't know that
go
one.
2 hours or 9 innings, whatever comes first.
first.
It's like Little League.
Yep.
It's kind of like baseball's
You
becoming.
cannot
Yeah,
step out
right.
of the batter's box.
That's cool.
There's no box because they do all these weird
They dance.
coordinated dances. They do all these other things where a guy lights his bat on fire, goes up to bat. There's a dude on stilts that, stilt guy.
Was it Jason Schmidt? Was that no? Who was the Jake Peavy?
Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy, a former pitcher,
Dame,
actually
Johnny
pitched the game
Damon.
with his Gold Glove. He won a Gold Glove as a pitcher,
Yeah.
and took it out there with it on, and like pitched wearing his Gold Glove trophy.
Yeah, Jake
My
Peavy.
favorite rule is the foul ball into
Yeah.
the crowd. If someone catches it, the batter's
Any
out.
foul ball,
Yeah.
anybody catches
That's
it in
the
the
best
crowd,
rule.
it counts as an out.
That's so good.
Yeah, I wanted to go.
How long have they been doing this? Has this been
Just a few years.
okay? Because
Yeah.
they
I mean,
really
I
have
think
a
it's longer
following.
than most people would know because they really just started kicking up on social media about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that, yeah. My brother lives 5 minutes from the stadium. The dog park is like right on the other side of the stadium, so he's there like every day.
How big is Savannah? Seems like everything would be 5 minutes away.
No, it's a big
No,
city.
it
I
actually
know it's a
is.
good sized city, but it doesn't seem
It could be
it's not
like a mile away, but a mile could take you like 10 minutes because
Yeah.
the traffic, everything feels like side roads, and there's so much traffic, and there's a lot of foot traffic
You
too.
want to
So
finish your salad?
you're always. I wanted to start this.
I
Andy
know.
left his salad
Trying
over
to
there.
be flexible.
Yeah,
Salad can't wait.
new thing.
Can't. Is it gonna get diseased?
No, it just gets like wilty. And,
Oh, yeah. Well,
And like,
All right.
talk faster.
yeah. Well, I'm excited because you were telling me about it, and then we were looking it up.
Yeah,
and we
there's
were
some
just,
really good
We
restaurants.
were just
too.
kind of like, whoa, we
You
can't.
should stop by.
$500
You should
for
stop
a-
by the restaurant my brother works at.
I will.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
called
figure
Shake
that out.
Shack. Is there a Shake Shack in
Is he a
Savannah?
cook there,
No, he
or does he run
either
it?
bartends or serves.
Sure.
Or expos.
We will do that. We'll have to connect.
There's also another really good place that Matt and I went to called Little Duck or Duck something Duck. It's not, Savannah. Little Duck Diner.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, are you
All
going
right.
with just you and Julie or the kids too?
No, just me and Julie right now.
Okay, cool.
So
Sweet.
yeah. So I'll get back to you on that, but I've been meaning to ask, and then I keep forgetting because Savannah Banana doesn't usually pop into my brain.
I had my
Man.
Savannah Banana shirt on yesterday. You
But I
couldn't
will
see it
be
'cause
picking up some swag for sure.
Yeah, I got a shirt.
Do it.
I have their competitors too. My brother got me their.
So the whole league is like this,
right.
Gotcha.
No. Not the whole league doesn't play by banana ball rules.
Oh,
It's only the Savannah Bananas.
Only if you're playing in their stadium.
only for the
Only if you're playing in Savannah Stadium, they have
House-
banana
house
ball rules.
rules.
You been there too? No, not yet.
No.
They have their rivals, the Macon Bacon. Anyway,
Making bacon.
All right. Back to
how
our
you guys
regular
doing?
scheduled
You
program.
guys doing all right? Kinda.
Doing all right.
Yeah, you got
All right.
You're hurt.
bum wheel,
A little gimpy.
gimpy, and then
Some kind of sprain or something.
yeah.
You didn't call Trent?
What could he do?
Some kind of quack.
Exactly.
No.
Tape an aspirin to it. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
know.
tell you.
I know.
Yeah.
Quit crying. No, I might if it gets. I don't know. It's feeling better today than it was yesterday, but it's just weird because I didn't injure it. Like I didn't roll it. I didn't do anything. And I've never had that on the inside part of the ankle where it's that sore, and it was swollen last night and this morning, and so
Can we, if we have to, can we amputate it on the show?
yeah.
Oh, that would be
probably
awesome.
be good. It's probably good.
Help ratings.
Let's do it. I'm down. Right now?
Did you fill out a
Pocket knife
bracket
or something?
Did you fill out a bracket?
For what?
Basketball?
No.
You?
I did because I'm doing a contest with one of the students here at
Okay.
church.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Did you get that text though with the link to it?
Yeah, but I
Didn't want to do it.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't even.
I just
with
basically
Brandon?
took mostly the chalk.
Yeah.
Did you fill one out?
I did for work.
Who'd you pick for the
I
winner?
picked Marquette to win.
Marquette.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen
Dwayne Wade
I
still go there?
he might be. I can name 0 college basketball players. So
My.
I can identify in my head one,
okay.
and he's the guy who played who won the Player of the Year for Purdue. Big, tall, brown-haired, short.
Tall guy, huh? Playing
Well,
basketball.
I picked Purdue. I picked Purdue to win.
And I can name less and less coaches because they're all retiring.
Is
Boeheim.
Shashevsky
He's gone.
He's
Krzyzewski's
Coach
gone.
K, he's really?
Yeah.
last year? I think
He
it was
retired?
He's
yeah.
retired.
They lost in
I pay
his
so little
last
attention to
game.
college basketball.
I know.
Boeheim just retired.
Even
He was-
USC.
Just vaguely, like whatever.
Who's
I'll see
USC
him, like,
playing this year? In the
I don't
first
even
round?
know.
Don't know.
They start today, don't they?
They do. They start right
It
now.
is
They're playing
today,
the game
really?
right- They're playing
I have
right
no
now.
idea.
Yeah, I don't really.
I'm really out of the loop on like most sports right now. I don't know. I just haven't been paying much
Aaron
attention.
Rodgers?
Well, so is he on the Jets or not? Like he demanded they sign a bunch of guys or something, and then now he's signing back with Green Bay, or what's
No,
he doing?
no, he wants to go to the Jets. He's waiting to be traded, it sounds like.
Whatever.
How about that? Would you do a dark room for 3 days?
A what?
He went into a dark room for 3 days.
Really? He's a weirdo, man.
Yeah, like some dungeon for 3 days.
He
And
probably
all he got
lives
was
there.
Food or something. Would you ever do that? Completely void of light?
No,
Oof.
it's weird.
That would be.
All this drama. You know what's going to happen is they're just going to end up keeping him,
Yeah.
or maybe that'll force him to retire.
Oh.
But if he goes to the Jets, he's one step closer to playing for the Vikings.
Yeah, he's going to be
I
on
know,
the
I feel like
Vikings.
And I'm
That's
one
it.
step closer to becoming a Lions fan for however
So-
long Aaron Rodgers is a
My
Viking.
the only thing about college basketball, ironically, it's UCLA player, won Pac-12 Player of the Year, and it's my next door neighbor's nephew. He's my
He
like
plays for USC
UCLA.
or UCLA.
Yeah,
That's where my niece wants to go to school.
yeah.
Wow.
I would advise against that.
Versus USC.
Yeah, USC's just way cooler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you said you would advise her not going there because it's in a bad area.
no, I said, well, USC's in South Central, but the campus is safe.
Right.
The whole area around it's not bad.
Yeah.
You got good security. UCLA is in like Beverly Hills, Westwood, right outside Beverly Hills.
And you have
but
a
it's
biased opinion because you're a USC fan.
yeah.
That's why you
Of
would
course.
advise against going to
Yeah.
UCLA.
Yeah.
Nothing is safe, Greg.
Packers want first round pick and more for Aaron Rodgers. Jets, Packers, quote unquote, far apart on Aaron Rodgers trade.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
For someone who hates Aaron Rodgers,
You know what I
spent
just
a lot
found?
of time thinking about him.
I'm trying to figure out what he's going to do
I
so I
just
can
am
go
intrigued by the dark
opposite
room.
way.
I'm
Dark
just-
room's weird, man. That's it.
I kind of. Have you ever done like long?
It's basically like
meditation,
sensory
prayers.
deprivation.
Yeah,
Right.
but for 3 days, how long?
I don't know.
You know,
Seems like you go crazy.
You can go just on a silent retreat. You don't need to.
That's
I don't
true.
need.
Well-
I don't think you need to submerge yourself in darkness.
Have you heard of that room? It's here in Minneapolis somewhere. It's like the quietest room in the world. It's
where
so
it's
quiet.
negative decibel silence?
Yeah, it's so quiet. Like you could hear your own
I
heart
think-
and stuff. And people, the longest anyone's ever lasted in there was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's a show that I was
Really?
watching on
Yeah.
Hulu called Fleischman's in Trouble, which is got the dude from social media, their social network. What's his name? Eisenberg.
Yeah.
He went in there. It's at this museum in New York, and he went in there with his kids, and they all like ran out. But
weird.
yeah, how long was this? You said
I think it was like 20 minutes or maybe 30 or something was the longest anyone's ever been able to last. in
Okay.
there. It's so quiet.
Where is it?
It's at some science, not museum, I don't think. Some research place or something. It's here in the Twin Cities somewhere.
You should go.
Yeah. Like I could last longer.
Bring our Shake Shack in there.
Yeah.
I think I could.
Trying to slurp out. You're shaking. Just obnoxiously loud.
Through the plastic, through the paper straw.
Yeah.
Well, what about like meditation? Like, you know, the old prayer closet people have, right? You go
Yeah.
in there and you pray.
That's fine.
Like, well, I know that, yeah, but how long can you pray? Like, how long could you go? Like, can you go like an hour in prayer?
Like realistically, I probably could not, just because
No.
I'm so ADD.
I
Right.
know.
Yeah, I'm just.
And it's not that I'm bored with it. It's just that I personally, I think that solitude is the point with Jesus, like alone time with Jesus, not necessarily like the literal closet.
Sorry.
I thought you'd want to sit with your foot.
I did, but I'm comfortable now.
But I think it's more just trying to remove as many distractions as possible. Does that mean going, like, sitting by a lake is bad?
No, yeah. No, I'm not saying any of this stuff is bad. I'm just curious. No judging, just curious on like how long can you, or how, you know,
To me,
pray like that or meditate, or, you know what I mean, just stay in that state of
So-
mind.
Definitely
years
fallen
ago-
asleep trying to like do that for a long time and falling asleep multiple
if you
times.
want to
Yeah.
fall asleep fast, start
Yeah.
praying.
Yeah.
But years ago, I listened to Louis Giglio thing on a little sermon series on prayer, and he defined prayer as constant communion with God. And while going into your closet is good, it's this ongoing dialogue with God. You know, instead of, it's because we do these weird things where it's like we're going to pray, so we, dear Jesus, like we're writing a letter, or like it's been a year since we've talked to him,
Yeah.
you know. And we're very too much descriptive about how we pray. Hey, you know, I was thinking about Greg with his foot. No, the one with 2 G's. You know, it's like he knows who I'm
His left
right.
foot.
He knows who I'm thinking
Which
about.
one?
Right.
Not those wimpy 1G Gregs,
Yeah.
but
No.
the 2G
You're really
Gregs.
missing something.
3G. He's
it's-
3G, though.
So just a lot of that stuff in that sermon series shaped my, I don't know, my personal perspective on prayer and
Yeah.
what the point is. You know, we also a lot of the times, because if you go into your prayer closet and pray for an hour about all the things that you need, which is a lot of what our prayers are, is give me this, give me that, help me with this, help me with that. I don't think you have, you know, as much as we are needy people, an hour is like way too long for that as well. You know, so there's a different purpose for prayer than I think what a lot of us.
I do like what
Approach
you're
it
saying
as.
as far as not kind of like not bifurcating, you know, like, okay, I'm going to sit down at my prayer time, my Bible time, and in
Well,
Jesus'
that's a
name, amen.
Big word,
And then
bifurcate.
and then you say amen, and then boom, you go on your day,
Right.
right? And like, I already spent my time with Jesus, and now I'm doing my day. And then maybe at night before I'm falling asleep, I'll check in real
Or
quick.
a mealtime.
Or a mealtime,
Hey,
right.
Just
I do-
checking in with you real
Right.
quick.
I do like the communication, the constant, you know, things are popping up during the day, even on the way over here, just praying about this or whatever. But yet there are, for me, I just am trying to incorporate in more like longer periods of time where I'll just go to my, like Matthew 6 says, you know, go to your room, shut the door, and let your requests, and, you know, be known to your Father who is in heaven, you know, and just having that quiet time or that prayer time or just sitting and listening. And it's difficult. It's difficult to maintain attention. It's difficult to like, I mean, you know, for me, I have to like literally like put my phone outside the room or my watch or what, you know, you just like something pops into your head like, oh, I should probably check the score or whatever, you know. So I'm trying to do that more
Yeah.
because I don't have the attention, and that's not good.
It's hard.
Do you think the average person spends, not counting like praying together in church or praying at dinner or food, more than 20 minutes a day praying? Is that a bad over under?
That's probably about right.
Yeah.
That's probably
You
good.
said average person.
Average church.
Average Christian.
Oh.
More than 20 minutes a day, not including
Over
meal.
under 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean-
who knows? But that's, I guess, probably pretty good.
I'd say under.
Under?
Yeah,
I'd say under.
I'm inclined to say under, but it's like
why
I don't
why
know.
do you think why do you think that
how
is?
would you know?
Yeah. Is it because we're all too busy?
I
'Cause we
think
don't know-
like
don't
what
know.
Mike was saying, when you stop and like try to be quiet or try to have that time of solitude, and you got to leave your phone and you got to, you know, take off your watch and you got to be away from screen or people or whatever. Even when you try to isolate as much as you can, you realize, like, your brain starts going. You realize how much like sensory our brain takes in all day.
So maybe going into a dark room
Right.
Yeah.
is actually.
But for 3 days,
I think we're just
I think
overly
that's a
stimulated.
little egregious.
Yeah.
One of the things that
Check
Louis,
your privilege if you have 3 days that you could do, Mr. Rogers.
one of the things that
It was over a long week.
Check
It was
your
a holiday
Rogers.
week.
you know, I think Russell Wilson should probably do it. One of the things that Louis said in that prayer series was, whenever you go pray, go spend time with God, bring a pen and a piece of paper. And what he recommended doing, because we are so distractible, and Nadia said discipline is another huge thing. We just don't have the discipline to do that. It's kind of like exercise. So you take a piece of paper and you have something to write with, and you draw a line down the middle and you say prayer, and then you say list. And anytime something comes into your head, like, oh, the weirdest things come into your head when you're trying to pray. Like, oh, I wonder if I need an oil change.
Exactly. When was the last time I did the furnace filter?
So all you do is you write down check oil change mileage, and then you can kind of release it from your brain. The next weird thing that comes into your head, just write it down and get it out of your head, because otherwise, if you don't release that, you're just going to be oil change. How many miles? I remember what that last time was. You know, and then you have your side of prayer, and just writing things that you feel like God is speaking to you. So that was Louis Giglio's tip.
That's good advice. Because if you could get it out, it's helpful. Hopefully you stop thinking about it. But I heard him speak at a conference several years ago, and he was talking about prayer. And it was like a youth ministry conference. And it was before lunch. Maybe it was either before lunch or dinner. It was before like a meal break. And he talked about prayer, and like basically his whole thing was we pray like idiots. And
Louis?
Yeah. It was a very Louis Giglio thing. Like, God is big and you are not. You know, that summarizes every sermon he's ever done.
Yeah.
But he always does it well. But I go back to that from time to time. It's been a couple of years since I've listened to it, but it was so good. And, you know, one of the things he mentioned is how we never pray for the appetizer. We always
John
like,
Chris
when you go
has,
to lunch,
John Chris
wait
has
till
a bit about that.
Does he?
Yeah.
He probably stole it from Louis.
Maybe.
But it's just funny when he goes through it. It's I don't know. I'll see if I can find it somewhere, share it with you guys. But
I think seminary was the first time I heard you didn't have to pray before a meal.
yeah,
Like, what? I didn't think that was...
sometimes I intentionally don't.
Some people, I know. Some guy
I'm hungry.
Some guy had a whole... He kind of went off in class one day. He's like, why are we always praying before meals? I don't want to pray before every meal. What happens if I don't pray?
Yeah.
Am I going to get... Is God not going to bless it to my body? It was just
Right.
kind of this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So...
I don't think that's what we're doing.
I don't know. I don't want to
I
test
think
it,
we're
though.
just giving thanks for the food.
I don't want to
I
test
know.
it, though.
Try praying, especially this is what I do a lot because I'm by myself for a lot of my meals. I pray the whole time while I'm eating. And just thank
What, you
God for different people.
Talk with your mouth full?
different things.
That's rude, even by yourself.
How do you pray when you're driving with your eyes closed?
I know.
That's very dangerous.
Is it already turning to snow, or is that just
I don't
rain
know.
going sideways?
I would rather have snow than this crap.
I kind of want this rain because it's going to melt some of this stuff.
Yeah. Then it will
Anywho.
get cold and freeze my
Sorry.
driveway.
What were you saying about ADHD and distractions?
What about my other question? Should
Was
we talk
that-
about that one?
Yeah. Bring it, Mike.
Okay. Switching gears.
I had a question about your question.
So this is my question to you guys, since you guys are, just it's like Timothy and Paul here. I'll let you figure out who's who.
I don't know.
How should churches respond to the news of the day? I just feel like we're just so...
Churches or individual Christians? Because that was my question.
Yeah. And I might...
Because
My
I
thing
think
is
the
like
church
what
should probably
depends
say
on the
less
news.
about the news of the day.
I
than-
think I'm thinking churches. I think I'm thinking
like
like
individual local churches.
the individual local churches, not celebrities, and
Well, why would they be exempt?
well,
Because they're still
They're
pastoring
all-
people.
I know, but they're always
What if they're
sometimes
Christian?
they've
What if
sometimes
they're Christian celebrities?
Yeah, sometimes
About
exactly.
Justin Bieber, does he count? Or is he too cool?
Is Kanye West still a Christian?
I don't know. I don't
that
think
kind of-
even anybody knows what Kanye is.
Well,
Okay.
he made a gospel album.
Yeah.
Did. I think that was all for the
Chick-fil-A.
election.
I'm not
Hey.
arguing for him because I thought it was so stupid, and I was bothered by how many people just automatically loved it
We
because
were
it's
happy
Kanye.
because we had someone cool on our team for once in the celebrity realm.
That's what we thought about
We've
with
had a good
Bono.
run here the last couple of years. We've had the Biebs,
Biebs,
Kanye, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
It's
Well,
like
Chris
some-
Pratt has always been. He's kind of all gone.
But he's like, these are some major celebrities. Like, they're cool people, and they're like, I don't know. Usually, the Christian celebrities are the guys who are like, oh yeah, I've seen him in a movie once, or Kirk Cameron. Like, that's about it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
I'm thinking churches because listen, we're just inundated with information. I guess it depends on how much you want to take in. I guess if you just shut everything down, and you can do that. But if you are at all paying attention to TV or the social media, there's just one thing after another. Whether it's AI, whether it's wars, whether it's whatever. The topic of the day is bank failures, right? Political stuff. Like, how should churches respond? And I'm not saying these are the only options, but it tends to be either we're gonna preach the topics of the day, right? Some churches will do that, or we're not gonna do anything, or is there something else? I don't know. Do you ever? I think this is tough. I think it's tough. Like, how do you?
I think just like what you said, we're inundated with so much stuff all day long. How do you can't just sit and respond to everything. That's, I don't know. I mean, it feels like there's certain things that are huge and maybe they warrant a response, but I'm more inclined to think, like, what's the root of these things and how can we respond to that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not a cop-out, but I don't think a local church has to necessarily respond to every single big news story. Sometimes it's fun to get, if it's kind of a pop culture thing and it's fun to get involved or get behind and just, ride that wave or whatever. But sometimes it's something serious and you respond to it. But I don't know. I have friends who in churches. It seems like they're constantly like putting out a statement about something.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Right.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I just, it's exhausting. And then,
in some
what's
ways,
the root of all these things? I think that's a more important thing for us to look at, is like, is there something common underlying all these stories, and can we teach on that, or can we address that?
And what does the congregation want? I mean, do they want to know?
Should it matter? Because isn't a big part of our role as church leaders to disciple people so that they would know how to respond to these things in the world as they're interacting with their friends or their coworkers or family members, that we are part of shaping a Christ-like mindset, worldview, that because we're not going to be able to respond to every single thing, but people are out there in the world living through every single thing, whether they're experiencing it firsthand or reading it on their internet or watching it on the news or whatever, that people would be equipped to know how to respond in the real world with the people that they're interacting with on a regular basis. Wouldn't that be more practical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my answer.
But I think people look. I think more and more. I was talking to my friend who's a pastor in Colorado. He was in town this week, and we were kind of hanging out. And I think more and more people are gravitating to churches depending on how they deal with these issues.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Do you know what I'm
even the
saying?
church world's getting more polarized.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with, honestly, like politics. Like, how you view politically at certain things is like where you're going to attend church or where you're going to join. And, that's where I'm like, well, sometimes I think churches are a little too over aggressive with making a statement on certain news headlines. And I don't know, to me, it feels kind of like you're trying to gain something or a group of people. I don't know.
Feels disingenuous.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it is, but it to me, that, and this is just personal. It feels that way to me. Like, I don't know. Does it? I mean, Jesus encountered a lot of stuff in his day and spoke to it, but I gotta believe there was a lot more going on in the world around him and he just cut to the root of the problem rather than commenting on, news headlines and stuff. I mean, there's definitely a balance. I think there's a good time for a statement, a good time for opinions, but I don't know. Yeah.
I think the only thing I can think of that is, and we're doing this now here in Northridge, which I think is beautiful, is if you just preach through the text, you pick a book and you go through it, you are going to, if you're true to the text, you're going to encounter the issues of the day, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
There's these issues there's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes tells us that, right? Now, and I think maybe that's when you address it, because it's the text and you teach the text, right?
But I don't know if you necessarily address it in a way to say, this is what our church believes on this particular subject. This is what our church believes. This is what you should believe as a Christian. Some of them are clear. Some of them are not as clear. Because I think it's more about not what you should think or what you should say or what you should believe. It's how. How you should speak about these things, how you should think about these things as a follower of Christ. Somebody who believes X, Y, Z, things in the Bible. Because, there's all the things in real life that we can find things in God's Word to parallel and relate it to, but it's never going to be exact cookie cutter, like how to, gun control.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Right.
It's really not as clear. So I think, to me, again, I go back to, we're just making disciples that make disciples, encouraging one another. And yes, we all want to be Christ-like, but I don't think God ever intended us to be this uniformic community where we're all the exact same.
I 100%
we
agree
get
with that.
the mind meld and groupthink and all that kind of stuff.
I 100% agree with that, but I think that's the danger we're running into, is I'm going to go to X church because they are quote-unquote conservative, or I'm going to go to this church because they're quote-unquote liberal.
Well, and the dirty
And
secret is you're never going to find a church that's going to align 100% with the way you
Right.
believe and the way you think. And if anybody's searching for that, best of luck to you, because
But I think
that's really
Someone
tough.
said you'll never
Start-
find the perfect church because as soon
Unless
as
you
you walk in
start
the door,
it.
you messed it up.
Right.
It's like buying a new car. The second you drive off the lot, it
Yeah.
loses its.
I think where
20
churches do need to encourage is that what you just talked about, Andy, is are we willing to be a place where we're the body? And that means not only is every part not the same, but also you're not just uniformed. You're just not a uniform, like we all think the same thing and we all, obviously,
It's like a cult.
yeah, we're not talking. I'm not talking about
Exactly.
clear things that are in Scripture, but like you just said, gun control or health care.
And the kind of leaders that promote
Right.
the uniformic thinking and the mind,
Yeah.
the group think, are
They're
cult-like
cult leaders.
Right.
Right. And I think that's the big difference between Christianity and just a cult. Because you hear people, I think even Joe Rogan was talking about with, it was probably Duncan Trussell, which is just like a couple days ago. They were talking about cults and religion and all this kind of stuff. And in his mind, I don't think they're any different.
Right.
But to me, there's, I don't know, a huge difference between.
I mean, I know.
I cut you off, Mike. I'm sorry.
I know
No,
a
you didn't
church.
cut me off.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I know of one in particular in California that Might be. I mean, but he's very outspoken and vocal politically, and basically tells people how they should vote. And to me, it's like skirting a line.
Isn't that like almost borderline unethical or
Yeah,
illegal? Maybe even.
I think it's dangerous. He's crafty and getting away with it. I mean, you're not
donates a lot of
supposed
money.
to. No, you're not supposed to promote something
Yeah.
officially from the church.
Pulpit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll step like to the side of the pulpit and like kind of have fun with it.
God.
Or I mean, he puts a lot out on his personal, like
Sure.
social media,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, pastors can have opinions. That's great.
Sure.
But
And there's
But
a
it's-
segment of society that will 100% gravitate to that.
Absolutely.
We want to
Absolutely.
know.
I want to know how I should think, or I want
Exactly.
to know how I should vote.
And
And
if-
and there's both political parties have taken certain issues, and people who are behind those issues, and honestly, I think to have taken those people captive in some way, because it's like, hey, we're going to support this issue, and whatever it is, like if you align with that particular issue, you have to vote with that party, and who cares what the rest of the parties do? You know, the party's doing with the rest of the stuff. That's kind of, I don't know. That's getting it more into the issue of or the problems with some of our politics now, or our political system. But
What? There's problems?
yeah,
Doesn't it just always come back to grace, though? I mean, this sort of comes into
Yeah.
grace. Like, are we willing to extend grace to people who see things differently?
yeah,
Especially
I
on
would hope
most
so.
of these
Yeah.
matters. These are matters of, like Paul talks about, those who eat meat and those who don't
Yeah.
eat meat. These are not biblically like salvific or to the core of Christian doctrine. Most of the issues that we're getting all riled up on aren't that.
Yeah.
People aren't debating, the sacraments.
Right. It's like
Or-
secondary
or
issues.
baptism
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
right but instead we'll get super riled up on whether or not you should have universal health care,
Yeah.
and I don't know. And so we need to foster that environment. I think as leaders, like you talked about, is it's okay to come in here and have a different opinion, have a different view. I'd be respectful but you have, you have to extend grace and you have to, everybody has to be extending grace,
Yeah.
right?
I would certainly hope so. I would certainly hope you're able to extend that grace. I mean, God's extended it to us, and I have different opinions than He does.
Yeah.
Like, I have to mold my opinion to His sometimes.
We were just talking with the kids a little bit about a little different topic last night, though. It's like most matters are, I know this word kind of gets a bad connotation, but most matters are nuanced, right? But yet,
Sure.
as humans, as adults, we're black.
Because humans are nuanced.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't realize it.
Right.
But we want
We want to make everything
But as
very like
black and white,
Yeah.
as adults, and then
Yeah.
kids are even more black and white because it's
Right.
usually whatever their parents said.
Yeah, and their brains are still developing, and
Right.
that's how they
Just
think.
haven't
is-
had very much life experience.
Right.
And so trying to explain to the kids, like, listen, these matters are nuanced and whatever, and you just hope that you can model that as far as like extent. Oh, so and so thinks this. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I understand his point of view, and maybe I'll learn more, or I still like him as a person, whatever, right? And as opposed to you did.
Do you guys feel comfortable sharing like any big political topic that maybe you've changed your opinion on? I'll go.
Okay.
Second Amendment. This might not
Oh,
be a popular.
easy,
No, I'm
easy.
just joking. I'm just joking.
Wow.
Man, that's crazy. I would never.
Holy cow.
I would never
Dude,
say.
it's snowing out
Yeah,
now.
this is big flakes, man.
switching churches tomorrow.
I know. I'm not going to even go there. Not in the Midwest. No. No. I'll say this. In recent years, probably about, it's probably been like 8 or 10 years ago. Kind of did a 180 on death penalty. When I was younger, I used to think like, oh, it makes sense. Like you did violent crime, you murder someone, you should, that's our legal system, and these guys, corporal punishment. You had your chance, you blew it, kind of those things. But, man, I heard a Christian guy who's an attorney and kind of at the forefront of a lot of that movement, and I heard him speak at a conference, and
Like the Innocence Project and all that stuff.
yeah, I was. Now I'm blanking on his first name,
Bill.
but no, it's Bob, John. No, it's Stevenson, right?
Yep.
Dang it, what's his name?
No idea. Tyler.
I don't remember.
There's a Tyler Stevenson. There's a Baxter Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Hey.
Ryan Stevenson.
Stevens.
Isn't he a-
Stevens.
Stevens.
Right, Steven.
Cat.
Cat. No, he changed his name.
Sorry.
So where are you going with this?
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. No, well, he
You
talked about
flipped
how
your
they,
position on.
yes, because
death penalty, 'cause they
the number of people who have
kill
been
so
found
many
innocent
innocent
who
people.
are on death row,
Right.
and who are like 1 out of 9 people executed in
That's
Florida
too
have
many.
been found to be innocent.
Even if it's one
That's
out
crazy.
of 15, it's probably too many.
That's crazy. 1 out of 9 have been found
Innocent.
have been exonerated,
Yeah.
like through more evidence comes out or DNA evidence or
or
something like that.
the illegitimate science used to prosecute that individual.
Yeah. And you get guys that, whether it's a detective or prosecuting attorneys, whatever, and they get like locked in on this is the guy who we think, and then they do everything they can to try to prove that this is the guy, rather than, and I mean,
Rather than
this is
innocent
not an
until-
indictment of all
yeah.
those people that do that job, because it's a hard job, obviously, and they're doing a good job. But, man, I don't know what the answer is, because it's like, oh, so you just throw them in jail for life, and it's super expensive, and all those other arguments. But it's like, man, I don't know if we should be making decisions on people's death like that. I don't know.
What?
Have you changed your opinion?
There's a few things that I don't think I will share.
If you want to know, ask them later Sunday
Free speech.
after church.
I
What?
think we don't. I'm just
Just
kidding.
get rid of that one.
Get rid of it
The whole
because there's a
First
bunch of
Amendment.
idiots out there.
You should get
I'm
the
just
death
kidding.
penalty if you say something dumb.
I think the freedom of religion
think-
thing is kind of oversold.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the things related to that have challenged me and made me really think hard when it comes to gay marriage and when it comes to abortion. I've just been really challenged to think. I think spiritually one way, politically, how do I come to terms with the different ways that I think, and also like even my theology, the way I think about God's economy and the way He's ordered this world, or He's whatever, and you and I have talked about where we have different varying nuanced degrees of the way that we approach that, but that affects the way I look at the rest of the world too, just as much as yours
Absolutely.
does the way that you look at the world. And being really challenged in the area, since I am Arminian, more, which would be free will, choice, that how do I extend that to other people in this world when it comes to their right to choose who their partners are, whether they get an abortion or not. So that's been like a major source of challenge in me over the last probably 15 years of really starting to think about it. Because there was so many years where you just did it. You just did whatever. But those are a couple of issues that I really, really wrestle with a lot.
Yeah, I got a couple issues that I don't think I'm ready to share. But one, I would say definitely I've shifted is from a Christian perspective, immigration and what that looks like. And now our current system doesn't seem like it's going very well.
Gesundheit?
But I tell you what, man, Jesus was a refugee.
I had that shirt.
You look at what a lot of these countries have fallen into in South America, and it's like, man, would any of us do anything else different? I mean, you'd walk 1,000 miles to flee some of these places too, right? And I don't have the answers, but I know my heart, my personal heart, was very hardened towards, this is the law, and
Yeah.
you know, you come in legally, and of course I think that's still, but the system is so bad that it's just so convoluted that it's like I don't even know how you do it legally.
Yeah.
You know, if you've talked to any immigrant that has tried to go, you know, the
very
proper
difficult,
routes,
yeah.
it's like next to impossible, right? And so, and the fact is, we need people in this country. You know, I mean, we have jobs that aren't filled and things that have to get done, and you know, we've the reality is, this isn't even a political statement. The reality is, we've had 60 million abortions in this country. Well, you know, that leaves openings for when people retire. You have jobs you got to fill, right? So I know my heart has been softened towards, man, I think I have definitely a much more compassion towards what these people are going through. And I'm not saying everybody that's coming is doing it for altruistic peer. Obviously, there's drugs and there's human trafficking and there's all kinds of evil that comes with it. But it's easy to set that up as 100% of the time this is the case, and that's not true, man. There are people who are just trying to flee persecution from their government and trying to come be willing to, you know, work and raise a family, and just like, you know, anybody else would want to.
Yeah, these are hard issues, nuanced.
Never know.
It's hard to look at what you think is right or wrong, but then also, how do you approach a person who's done those things with grace, with mercy and grace that we've been given?
Yep.
You know, it's nuanced, but then also try to be a part of a society that's holding things together. You know, I mean, you can't have anarchy.
No.
You got to have some rule of law somehow. It's like, how does it all play out?
Right. Absolutely.
You know? But I think we are all getting older. And when you're a young man, you think everything, you think letter of the law.
Absolutely.
Unless you're John MacArthur, you get older and you get even more letter of the law kind of guy. But sorry, I know that's your personal hero.
Oh, yeah. And Johnny Mac.
Yeah. No, right? I mean, as you get older, you realize, like, there's nuance to everything. And people are messed up. Like, I'm messed up. I've made bad choices, and I'm glad. You know, I haven't done anything that's, you know, majorly derailed my life or somebody else's. But, man, I'm probably one or two little decisions away from some of those big things. That's like I always say, that's my favorite thing about whenever you see like the Teen Challenge Choir and those people give like testimonies or something. It's like, any one of us are, you know, one or two decisions away from being up on that stage.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I definitely could have done a couple of different things in high school or young adulthood that would have sent me down a really bad path. And it's just, but by the grace of God that I steered clear of something terrible. But, you know, some people, they get caught up. Some people, it's not even their fault. They get caught up in it, and then they end up in, next thing they know, they're part of it. And, or they feel like there's no choice, you know, like they live in in a country where that's the norm, or a community where the only choice is to, you know, or seemingly the only choice is a life of crime, selling drugs or prostitution or whatever, just to try to make money and try to feed your family or try to get out of your situation. And, you know, we have people that are caught up in that. And it's not even in like it's not even really like an inner city issue or metropolitan issue. I mean, that stuff's happening in suburbs. It's in rural America. I mean, anywhere and everywhere. People are struggling, and when push comes to shove, they think, well, this is my only option. True or not, that's what they perceive, right? And so what happens on the other side of that when they get caught, they get arrested, they get thrown in jail, or they just do something to really mess you up personally, or someone you know, or, you know, family. And it's like, how do you approach that? You could call something right or wrong, and there's consequences to actions and all that stuff. But as a Christian, how do we approach it? And yeah, they're all fun things to think about and
Yeah.
not do. It's a lot easier to say, that's wrong, man. Forget you. You should be gone. Lock them up.
That's why the church needs to be a place of grace, right? Well, different opinions, different allowing people to fail, allowing people to have bad days, you know, and saying, hey, we're a body and we're going to stick together even though, you know, whatever, if we had a disagreement or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it just has to be. We have to look different than the world.
Well, and
That's
I think
also,
that's-
go ahead. I was just going to say, it goes back to why I said we can't just put out a statement for everything, because one, there's a lot of things we don't know the full story to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right.
I mean,
Well,
how
the
many
church-
churches
we
put
can't
out
be the experts of everything anyway.
Right.
It's not just know the whole story.
how many churches put out like
don't have a law
statements
degree.
on things
ChatGPT it.
things about like COVID during the COVID time, people, you know, supporting one direction or another. And like I think most churches, we all try to do our best, right, to protect the people that we are placed, you know, not in charge of. That sounds horrible. What am I like in
serve.
care of to
Yeah,
serve? But
serve.
like,
Yeah.
you know, we have services, we have all these things that we're trying to do, and we got groups of people. Like, COVID's a good example. Churches had different opinions, people had different opinions, and I think that polarized a lot. What we're seeing now, of like people are like, okay, I'm going to go here because they believe this way. I'm going to go here because they believe that way. That was all really highlighted during that time.
Was.
But a lot of us had really big opinions about things we knew very little about. And it's like, why? So then why are we like, why are we the experts? We're not like,
No.
that's where it's like, okay, what's the root cause of this or that? And does the Bible have something to say about it? And if so, well, let's comment that way.
I think it's pretty cool. I could be wrong, but my guess is it's pretty close to 50-50 when it comes to people's thoughts politically here at Northridge. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. 50-50 on certain issues.
There's a pretty good mix, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 50-50 just because we're
I think it's
evangelical
close.
church in the suburbs. We probably have a little bit more on one side.
Right. But
Just
I
by
think it's pretty
nature.
close. Maybe it's 35-40,
Yeah.
65-70. But is that the right
35,
math?
40. No,
That's fine.
it works.
30,
None of us are
35,
mathematicians.
40.
Terrible at math.
35-40, but okay. Yeah.
40-60-40.
There you go. There you go.
You know,
Are
somewhere.
you trying to set us up for something?
It's a lot closer than
35-65.
a lot of mainstream evangelical
Yeah,
churches.
for sure.
I was told there wasn't going to be any math on this.
I
Yeah.
hate math. You're the actuator. And I think it's a pretty cool testament that, you know, we can be in an environment here all together with
Yeah.
a lot of varying different. We do. There's some people that have very extreme ideas from other people here, and you know, there's moments where it can get maybe stressful. But for the most part, I think we've learned to coexist. And I think what you were saying about grace, that could be one of the most powerful things that we can do as Christians who
Yes.
are part of a church, who are experiencing grace and understand that concept every single day. We're aware of it every single moment of our life. That more than any theological or ideological debate that we could have with people, if we can teach people what grace is outside the church, they might put different words of it, but to really truly experience grace
And it starts here, though.
does.
Because if you can't extend grace to your own brothers and sisters who are at the same, the
Yeah.
same body of Christ, if you can't extend grace to them, you're just not going to extend grace. Not in a long, maybe one-offs you will be able to, but you will not be able to extend grace to the coworker who lives a totally different lifestyle or sees things differently, right? Or somebody in the community. And so, I guess that's the challenge for myself is, and I don't know if others, if you want to take it, is are we willing to extend grace to one another at the church, especially when there's friction or there's a debate or there's something that pops up and you're like, oh man, I didn't like how they did that or they made that decision or they're they said that or their kid did this or whatever, right? It's like, yeah, we're here to extend grace.
Plenty of disagreement and dissension in churches within the church,
Yeah.
as there is with outside the church versus the church. I mean, that's probably why a lot of denominations are exist, because they couldn't figure out
Right.
how to coexist and how to be brothers and sisters in Christ.
Luther split, and we just took that as, okay, we got to keep splitting. Splitting, the more splitting, the better.
Right. Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
one
I
is
follow
good,
Luther.
two is great.
Feel free.
I like the Luther guy. Let's just keep
Splitting.
just keep having beefs.
And then even within Lutheran doctrine, you got like 4 or 5 variations
Oh, yeah.
in it there.
because they're good Lutherans.
Well, I mean,
So there should be more.
They just don't want
First Baptist, Third Baptist. I don't know what happened to Second Baptist. Fifth
Yeah,
Baptist.
there's a fifth in Plymouth, right? Fifth Baptist.
think
Isn't
so.
that-
It's up on the
Yeah.
big hill, white church,
Yeah.
Man.
55.
All right.
Yeah.
Fifth Baptist.
What do you keep looking at the clock?
I
You
gotta
go?
roll.
Okay.
Is it time for news and events?
Could be.
Yeah. Could be.
Parting shots, Mr. Mike Stella.
New employee.
Yeah. You
Coming.
might have him on here
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
week.
Well,
When? Sometime
I don't
soon.
know. I got to talk to him. He starts officially on the 20th,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is next Monday. So, I didn't want to bother
Pass the
him.
drug test and everything.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I
waiting,
didn't want to bother him until
waiting for the results.
I don't want to bother him until he's officially on staff.
I think he's on vacation this week, or like
Could
he's
be.
in between, so he's got a little time off
I would,
between.
if I were him, I would try to get away.
Cool. Well, good to see you guys.
See you, man.
Finish your salad.
You
wilted.
didn't give us any parting shots,
That was.
but okay,
Extend grace to each other.
okay, that's not a
Yeah,
shot.
give him some grace.
We
man.
just talked about that for like 20 minutes. Jeez, what's wrong with you,
see you, dude.
man? You're so opinionated.
That's weird. Yeah, man. Little Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Little after
Let's
party.
do it. We'll get Zachary James and Andrew
Yeah.
James. Are you guys related?
Yeah.
Andrew James and Zachary James, cousins?
What do we got for the news, Greg?
I don't know.
The
It's snowing. That's news.
it is
Big news.
the
Brian Stevenson is who I was thinking of earlier.
Brian.
Brian Stevenson. Yeah, I'm getting there. So I guess big news coming up. Of course, it's Holy Week. That it's weird. It seems like it's coming up. It's still like 3 weeks, right? It'll go quick. But
It'll go quick. But
I
I
was just doing some like the Facebook events and stuff this morning, and it was like 21 days. I was like, oh wow, yeah, it's like still 21 days away.
yeah, I've
But-
been putting together song lists and bands for the Holy Week. I think I got most of the band for Easter.
Nice.
And picking up music. I think I got most of the songs for Easter at my song list for Easter. Still trying to put together the Good Friday stuff. Part of it is because Schoolmeisters is preaching on Good Friday, and I'd like to kind of get together with him
Yeah.
and talk about it before I lock something in too much.
Shout to the Lord. And what else? What were you talking about yesterday? There was
Shine,
another-
Jesus, shine.
Shine, Jesus, shine.
We are going to, I
And-
think we're going to do something on the Thursday service, Greg, that I cannot believe that actually was my idea.
What?
That's something that you know that I have a hard time with, but I think it fits for this particular service that we're going to do. So we're not going to tell you. I'll tell Greg afterwards. But if you're interested,
I'm intrigued.
You should come. Thursday, Holy Week starts technically. Well, we're just going to kind of, our Easter season, we're just going to kind of wrap in
Yep.
from Saturday, April
April
1st,
the
all the way
extravaganza.
to the end of Easter.
Till
April
noon
9th.
on April 9th.
Yeah, noon 15.
Probably about noon 15. Probably me, you, a couple others.
Ben,
Ben.
Brax, Dan.
Brax, Dan.
We always.
I was trying to remember if Caleb's out here sometimes.
No,
if he's
depends if
playing.
he's playing. I don't think he's not playing this year.
Yeah, there's a point where after every Easter Holy Week services, after the last service, we just kind of sit out here and like try to not fall asleep.
Yeah, well, we did that in the room way over
Yeah.
there because we didn't have these offices
Yeah.
yet. We did it in the makeshift temporary office
Yeah.
last year. But yeah, It's a
And
little
then-
bit of the afterburn after everybody's left. We know a lot of us have to go to family gatherings, and so there's sort of like this little lull before
Yeah.
you know you have to give a lot of. For me, it's great because I could just go
Go home
home
and take a nap.
and I'm trying to look for a duck. I can't find any duck. I've been trying.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you just reference a duck earlier? What was the duck thing?
Little Duck. There's a restaurant.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Savannah. But starting with April 1st, our Easter extravaganza, families and kids, Easter egg hunt. There's going to be some storytelling, some music. It's going to be an awesome morning, April 1st. I think it's from, 9 to 11:15 or 11:30?
Yeah, 9:30 to 11.
9:30 to 11. So it's only an hour and a half.
There is a sign up.
You have to sign up.
Sign up and register.
Yep.
I should probably sign my kids up.
I don't know if does it say there's a cutoff date?
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Well,
say.
let's just say go sign up as soon as you can, because that'll help Jackie and Courtney
Yep.
a lot. Do we need people to help with that too?
I'm guessing.
So if you're interested in serving at that event, I'm guessing you can go to that same. Yeah. So if you go to our events page, you'll see right at the beginning, Easter 2023. On the left is the event sign up for the extravaganza. On the right, if you want to serve, there's the section on the right. You can click on that. Oh, nothing is clickable.
Yeah.
You have to. The one on the right does not work, so you have to let Tammy know about that. So if I click on this,
Huh.
nothing. If I click on the one on the left, brings me to the sign.
Registration. So there's should be like a that's the
That's
sign up
just
to
for the
help
event
wasn't
sign up,
working?
but the other one should be to serve,
All right.
and it doesn't look like that link's working. So we'll get that working. That's April 1st, Holy Week. April 6th is our Last Supper service. Greg
I
and
don't know
maybe
if I'm going to be here at that.
Huh?
I don't know if I'm going to make that.
I hope so, because it's you and maybe Dan. I don't know if he's going to have Dan help you. I think you and Doug did it together last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we were thinking about having
Yeah, I need to
you
get
and Dan do it.
together with Dan and work it out.
Okay. There's a song that I was thinking about for that day that I think would be really
Why are you being coy?
because I don't want to tell anybody.
Because then you'll be stuck with it.
No, I'm not, I'm pretty determined to do it that day.
Really?
Yep. That's the Last Supper service. It's all about communionity.
Communion.
Did I just make up a new word?
Might as well.
Community?
Funnily. It's a funnily.
Funnily.
It's fun. You said it funnily.
I said communitally.
Communally.
I know, but it's also about community and
Communitily.
fellowship. Communion. Anyway. Last Supper service, 7 o'clock, April 6th, Thursday of Holy Week. Friday is Good Friday service. 2 services, 5:30 and 7. They're the same service. We have our new member to the staff, Paul, Paul Schoolmeisters.
Yeah.
He's going to be sharing at that service. Then we have our sunrise service at 6:30 on Sunday morning, April 9th. Are we doing, do we decide if we're doing food?
There will be a continental breakfast.
Continental.
After the sunrise service, before the 8 a.m. service.
Okay, so that's
in the great
like
room.
bagel bites.
Yeah,
and
like bagels and juice and, light.
light stand-up food.
Yeah.
Not-
stand-up food. If you're coming expecting like eggs and bacon, then you're not at the right place.
Okay.
Come back for men's breakfast the following month. But yeah, just
There's no
light
men's
stuff.
breakfast in April.
No, because it would be April. It would be that Saturday of in between, and it's
Eighth.
just
Yeah.
sandwiched in.
Didn't you do
too
it
much
last year?
stuff. I think we did, but we just decided to hold off this year because, if I remember right, last year it was a little lightly attended, and
Okay.
to get volunteers. It's a pretty volunteer intensive weekend
already.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, no men's
Sunrise
breakfast
service
that week.
6:30 with continental breakfast. Following that, before the 8 o'clock service, sunrise service usually goes from about 6:30 to 7:15 ish. It's not a full hour service, about 45 minutes. Brax, our youth pastor, is going to be speaking at that one.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. And then we have our main Easter services. I say that like it's diminishing the other ones. It's not. They're just different. The sunrise service is going to be
Yeah.
different than the other services.
I was struggling on what to call that because I'm making a banner to hang out on the building and decided a couple of years ago you can't put everything on there because
No.
the whole purpose of the banner is for drive-by traffic. It's just too much to put all the services, even sunrise, and to put sunrise service in it. So I just do the main services because,
So you're calling them main? That's what I was calling them.
well, that's what you call them. I was struggling on what should I put. Like I just put Sunday services because that's kind of like what people who aren't
Yeah, I think if you just
Going
put
to-
Easter Sunday.
they aren't churchgoers normally. They're going to look for.
What if you
like,
just said
what's the-
Easter Sunday,
That's what I was
8,
thinking.
9, 15, 10, 45.
That's what I had.
And then you could almost do like a little side thing that says sunrise 6:30.
They had services, and I was actually going to change that to Sunday, Easter Sunday, 8, 9:15.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, I think you could remove, or you could just switch out services with Sunday.
What if we decide to not do it on Sunday sometime?
Too
I'm
bad.
making these signs for future.
Too bad. It's always going to be on Sunday.
Is Easter always on a Sunday?
It is.
Like Halloween is always on the
No.
full moon on the Friday the 13th, right?
April 9th, 8, 9, 15, 10, 45. Those are the services, the main Easter services
in the main worship center.
in the worship center here. The sunrise service is going to be in the great room, right?
Yeah, usually we were in the great room, but
Yeah.
we hadn't fully finalized that.
I think
but
we're
yeah,
going to.
probably
I think
great
we got to do it.
It'd be nice. We got the windows in there.
Yeah, we get
and
the
we
more
might get
bigger
some
effect
sunrise.
of the sun in there.
If we get sun.
Although one year we used to do it, we did it a couple of years in here with when Dan was doing it, and I hit the light timer
Yeah.
where it had to delay, so I delayed it like
So it got
20
brighter and
minutes,
brighter and brighter?
and so then I turned it up, and so as the service went on, it just kind of slowly got brighter and brighter in there
See?
without me having to touch it.
That's a good idea because, I mean, most years it's overcast and no sun comes through the windows
Right.
anyway. It might snow.
Now we tried doing it here, thinking that we got light in here, but the sun comes up over there.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, it comes up over here.
Northwest.
Sun does not
East.
rise in the west. What in the world? Well, in your defense, you never wake up that early.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I've seen the sunrise.
Once a year for sunrise service. The greatest thing ever was when we
I'm an idiot.
had COVID and we got to pre-record that,
Yeah.
and you didn't even have to get up.
No, Dan and
Yeah.
Zach did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a great reason to have an intern.
The
You can have-
sunrise is over there in the west.
for some reason, I just thought it was coming up because that's where the light was coming from, and I thought I remember
that's where the
seeing
window
sun.
is.
That's usually like at night when we're having night meetings in there.
Yeah,
the sun is coming
killer
through,
sun.
and it's killer.
Yeah.
I never said I was smart, man.
All right.
Where's north? North is that way.
Yeah, you got that.
So yeah, that's why we thought the sun would come up here and shine through the what do you call those things?
Skylight,
Skylight. Skylight.
something like that. Yeah, you get light from the sky. And we have some bigger windows in the great room up high, like above that little ledge that face east. So we get sunlight. One year we had good bright sunlight coming in from there. But most years it's so overcast and gray and I don't know. So we'll see. Yes, probably the great room. All right, move on.
I'm done talking. I've already proved I'm an idiot.
Look, this is not news to anybody. People
wow.
aren't tuning in here for like riveting
At least
opinions and informed
I don't know, but I
decision
don't know if you
making.
remember the Jared Goff thing from
Is that the Subway guy?
Hard Knocks from a few years back,
Oh,
where he was talking about
Jared Goff, the quarterback.
quarterback
That looks like
when he was
Napoleon Dynamite.
No, I think he looks more like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Kind of between Ryan Gosling and Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. But yeah, he had problems figuring out which way the sun came up. And he went to
Cal Berkeley. That's why.
he went to he was a good school, right?
I guess.
It's better than community college.
Right, but I bet there's a lot
It's
of
probably
people
better
in
than
community
Bethel.
college. A lot of people in community college in Bethel that know where the sun rises.
Sorry, Bethel. Anyway, what else we got, Greg?
I don't know. Well, at Easter services in the main
Oh yeah, that's right.
services, we got baptism.
Right.
Baptisms. If you would like to get baptized, if you think you ought to get baptized, if you're a Christ follower, a believer, you have not done that yet, talk to Andy
Or Greg.
or me or
Or
any
Ben.
pastor,
Or Brax.
or email the office and say,
Or if you have kids,
hey,
talk to Jackie.
yep.
She would love to talk to your children about
Yeah.
baptism.
So basically, talk to someone and do it. At all three of the main services at 8, 9:15, and 10:45.
right. We have a
we're
bunch of
having
people
baptism.
already getting baptized at the 9:15. So if you have flexibility, you can do it at the 10:45 or
We
did
need
we
the 8 o'clock.
I think we just added a couple more for the 10:45.
Okay, we
from
need some
on
8.
Sunday.
We need some 8 o'clocks.
Yeah. Were you able to talk Jordan and Riley to do it at 8?
We haven't yet, but
Okay.
whatever service we go to.
Yeah.
We need some folks at 8. Get up, get out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd even have time to go home and
Change and get your Easter
get
outfit
cleaned
on.
up.
Come
and
back
Come back
later.
or go to your Easter gathering later in the day.
Hey, in general, if you have flexibility, come to 8 o'clock service
Yeah.
because I know you might think, oh, it's so early, but
You get more.
you'll get a
more
better
room.
seat.
Yep.
You'll have more leg room, and you'll have more room for your elbows and
Knees and toes.
spreading
What
out.
service was the busiest last year? Was it the last
I don't
one?
recall, but
The
probably
9:15.
I think 9:15 and 10:45 are usually pretty
Pretty even.
even. They're both really full.
Christmas this year, they were all pretty spread out, pretty
Yeah.
evenly.
Yeah,
Right?
it was kind of surprising.
It was like
Yeah.
really even.
Remember how cold it was
No.
for Christmas Eve service?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. It was icy.
Yeah, it was really icy.
And it was
People were
super
getting
cold.
stuck in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two band members got stuck
Yep.
coming to practice that
Yeah.
afternoon,
Yeah.
and Ben and Terry had to help push one of them out.
Yep. But it seems so long ago.
That was,
So it's going to be a beautiful day on Easter.
yeah,
Come out
as we look at
8
the
o'clock.
snow outside.
8 o'clock, come and be part of the service. Get baptized if you would like, if you need to. If one of your kids or family members are talking about it, talk with them about getting baptized, and then talk to one of us. Or email office@nrf.life and just say, hey, I'd like to get baptized. Can you link me with a pastor? And we'll figure that out. So,
Another argument to come to the 8 o'clock service is a lot more people are going to get baptized in that middle service. We want to save room for their friends and family.
yeah.
And so if you
Yeah.
don't have, we're all friends, everybody
Yeah.
probably has a friend maybe getting baptized or a family member. But, if you don't, or you're not connected to anyone getting baptized, maybe come to the earlier service.
Yeah.
Let's save room for family members, friends who don't normally go to Northridge. Make sure there's enough room. It's going to be over on the left side of this, of the worship center. So it'd be
And just
great to
guests
kind of
in
keep
general.
some of them.
Just guests
Yeah.
are more likely to come to one of those later services. So,
Right.
Yeah. By the way, I need folks for our connections team. This is ad-libbing. I'm not
For
on there.
Easter?
For all weeks.
For general.
But in general, but especially Easter services. We're going to need it's volunteer heavy weekend. So,
What would I do if I'm a connections team, or what?
so
could I
our
do?
connections team, we got greeters at the door outside, just kind of greeting people as they come in from the parking lot, holding the door open, saying good morning. And
You said it's a good position for introverts.
it's a great spot for an introvert.
Why?
Alyssa Rubel told me that.
Okay.
So
Because I was going to say
she would consider herself an introvert.
Yeah, okay.
She said it's great because I could say hi to someone and I don't have to have a conversation. They just say hi and keep going.
good morning.
So it's kind of funny.
Open the door for
It's
somebody.
true. Some people stop and chat for a minute, but most don't. Most just, hey, good morning, because they want to get in to service, get their kids checked in, whatever it is. So, but yeah, door greeters, that's a great, but it's important. It's kind of, I don't know. I think it's cool to see someone, smiling, saying good morning as you come up and they open the door for you. And so it's nice. But, and then ushers inside, ushers will stand out the doors as we enter into the worship center, pass out programs, or if we have anything else to pass out, just kind of welcome people in to the worship center. On some of these services, like Easter services, the seats get taken up. It's crowded, and so there's
We
a
need
few of us
ushers
that
to
help
find people
seat
seats.
people. Yeah,
That's
we'll
another
walk
reason
up and
to
down
come
the
just a
aisles.
little early too.
Yes,
If you want to make sure you get a seat that you want, get there just a little earlier.
go ahead, scoot to the middle of that row,
You guys are-
hunker down.
Hilariously
And,
notorious for coming
5 minutes late, want to end seat.
7-ish minutes into the service.
Yeah.
Then people start flowing in.
Yeah,
It's kind of at the
Got
end of the
room for
first
my
song, beginning
family
of the
of
second
12.
song. A family
got
of
room
12?
for my family at 12. We all want in seats. No, like I'm the same. Everyone wants to sit like toward the end. It's just human nature. But
You don't want to be trapped.
yeah,
We do have some of the seats in the middle
Yeah.
on the one
Got the
side that
little-
has like that aisle in between.
the little false aisle, fake
Somebody
aisle.
said
It's not
burp,
fake.
burp aisle.
Bill McEachern calls it the vomit row.
The vomit row.
Yes, someone has to vomit and needs a way out, and they're in the center. They can get out.
That's funny.
So go to the extreme, but that doesn't mean you have to vomit if you sit there, but you can, I guess. Yeah, we have people that kind of work the lobby area, just welcoming folks, helping. Every week we have new people and just kind of helping them.
Giving out gifts to first
Yeah,
timers.
give them a little gift bag with a coffee mug and answering any questions, helping them find where to go check in their kids, showing them where the coffee is. That's important. I always let people know where the restrooms are, that sort of thing. So you don't even have to be like this crazy hospitality gifted
There
person.
there used to be a sign out there that said free. It was didn't
free
you,
coffee thing?
Didn't you used to have something that says enjoy coffee on us? or something
Coffee,
like
it's
that?
always free. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. I don't know what happened to it.
I don't know. It was
Just
a few
kinda-
weeks ago. I was out here and
Yeah.
there was a lady. She went into the nursing room and
Yeah.
then she came out because I think her baby is a little ornery, so she didn't want to be distracting. So she
Yeah.
brought him in there, and then she came out here and she kept looking around like this, looking around like that. I'm like, hey, can I help you? And she's like, where's the thing for the pay for the? I'm like, it's all
Yeah,
free.
yeah.
She's like, oh, really? She's like, a lot of churches I go to, it's like maybe even a free will
Yeah.
donation or.
Stop doing that, churches. Stop charging people for a cup of bad coffee. It's probably bad. We have good coffee and we give it free.
Yeah.
And I will maintain we have the best coffee that you get at a church.
He's a coffee snob.
Like most churches, they serve Folgers and it's moldy. It's been sitting around for
Ugh.
10 days in the fridge and they reheat it in the microwave and then throw it out there. And then they
not-
want to
not the
have
best part
people
of
pay
waking
for
up,
it.
huh?
No, it's the worst part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. You need some good coffee and you need it free. From Smiling People, by the way, if you would like to do the refreshment station, that's honestly, that's a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite things to do is when every once in a while I'll do the coffee bar. It's just fun because
Do we call our coffee people baristas?
no, we don't.
Okay.
We could, but I think of it more as you're just a drug dealer. I mean, people are lining up and they're happy. They're happy to see you because you're giving them free, good coffee. And that's what we need on a Sunday morning, especially if you come to sunrise or at 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And we got good coffee.
I'll probably even
It's
be
a lot of
drinking
fun.
coffee that morning.
And the kids love you when you have that lemonade out there.
Yep.
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 You'll be drinking some coffee.
Ushers, door greeters, just floaters.
Yeah.
That sounds weird. Refreshment team.
Freshman team. All that.
Connections team. So if
Yep.
you're interested in being, if you have a personality or gifts that fit in those areas, talk to Greg.
Yeah.
Is there something on our?
There will be. It's some.
Well,
coming
there's.
soon.
I know there's a serving.
It's not even all that intimidating. You don't even have to be like that much of a people person, because, I mean, you just have to be friendly, and like most people are friendly and helpful. So if there's someone were to ask you a question that you don't know, you find me, or you find Pastor Doug's always out here, or you find Steve Willis, or some people like that floating around that can help out. But yeah.
So under events on our website, if you go down,
Yeah.
there's a graphic that says serving teams. You can click on that, and you'll see connections team towards the top there. So
You know what's funny? If you scroll down on the events page,
that's hilarious.
Never mind. Where was I just now?
You were on.
I just
church,
on the-
You were on Church Center.
Oh, that's right. I was still. No.
Slightly different than the website.
What page am I on? Oh, this is just the home page. Never mind.
Okay.
Because I scrolled down and I saw news and events link, and I was like, that's funny. We got a news and events link on the news and events page.
So
My
what else
bad.
we got going on, Greg?
I don't know. Let me get back to that news and events page. Those are the big things Easter going on, but we also have the worship night coming up, right?
Let's go in chronological order.
I got to get there.
You were there. The empty bowls cross. What is that? Do
There
you
we
know
go.
what that is?
Empty Bowls is a event it's like a supporting Cross, which is a local mission partner, local food shelf that we support. The Empty Bowls event is that tonight? That's tonight from 4 to 7. That starts in 2.5 hours.
Wow. We really need people to help
2.5,
serve,
4 to 7.
right?
Yep. Make a difference at the Cross Empty Bowls event on March 16th. Cross is looking for people to help at this event. Email Susie Nardini, who works for Cross but is also a Northridge tender, and you could ask how you can help, or you can attend. And it's there's like a shopping, there's food. It's a fun night out for the whole family, and it's all fundraising, and it goes to support Cross, which does a lot of good work in the community and surrounding area. So $20 for an adult, $10 for a child, or $40 max for a family. So that's good.
Yeah. Oops. That link is dead too. You can't click on that. The next event after that coming up would be the worship night a week from today. It's here in the worship center. You might have seen an event on Facebook that Greg set up for us. Go ahead and share that with your people on your page or whatever. 6:30 to 8-ish that night. Come together to worship through music and through prayer. And it should be a good night.
Oh, you done? Sorry.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. What?
Childcare night. There's another childcare
Hey,
night coming
another
up.
date
I didn't
night
even
for
see
you to
that.
enjoy.
Yeah.
But before that,
okay.
is-
Sorry, that caught my attention. You never know what you're going to see on the events page.
not this Saturday, but the following Saturday after that.
March 25th.
Yes.
Missions on the move. Missions are on the move at Northridge. On
Where are
the
they
move.
going? Is that your dumb joke from last week's?
Something like that. So if you want to know
Where are they
all
going,
about,
Andy? That's what
yeah, where are they going? They're moving around. They're moving on down to the great room, and they're having dinner.
whenever you're trying to like force a joke in there, you always say my name.
Yeah, I'm answering your question. You said where are they moving to?
March 25th.
Should I call you James? Andrew
AJ.
James?
AJ. I never was AJ until I got to Bethel.
Oh, we talked about this. Yeah,
Some friends of
AJ.
mine
Forgot about
they
that.
called me AJ.
AJ Schultz sounds like a catcher, like
Except for
journeyman catcher. Or something.
Yeah, there's only been like 2 Schultzes in the history
Yeah.
of major leagues.
There's never been a Tizer, so there you go.
You know, I just learned today that the Dodgers got JD Martinez.
Yeah.
I didn't know
You
that.
didn't know that?
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah, reunited with
Reunited.
Van, however you say his last name, the Dodgers hitting coach. Well, they have co-hitting coaches. One of them was the guy that reshaped JD's swing.
In
It
Boston.
was like his personal hitting coach in Arizona,
Oh,
like when
okay.
he first had his
All
little
from
resurgence, and then
whatever that swing. What's that school called that they go to?
hit lots of home runs and strike out a ton. That's the philosophy. But anyway,
Yeah.
I
I bet he doesn't hit more than 25 home runs. This
Probably
year.
not.
He's getting old.
It's getting old, and like for a right-handed hitter, you could hit just a high fly ball, and it goes out of Fenway.
Not
Dodger
at
Stadium, the ball doesn't really travel as well. Well, in recent years, much better than traditionally.
Travels better to right field than in left
Yeah.
and center.
Traditionally, was a really
JD's
bad,
a good opposite field hitter too.
Yeah, I mean he's a big, strong guy. He hit the ball everywhere.
He's big.
So
Anyway,
anywho,
sorry, Adrian.
Who?
Adrian.
Oh, he doesn't like the baseball talk.
Yeah.
Or Diane.
Schluter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missions on the Move, March 25th,
picnic style
6 through 8.
meal. I'm
Picnic style
coming for that.
meal.
Pulled
And
pork.
free coffee.
Good coffee.
Yep.
From
Hernandez.
You get your own little bag to take home and make yourself.
Yep.
So, I hear all about the trips we've taken recently. We had a team go down to Paraguay a little bit, like a couple weeks before Christmas time. We had a team go to Honduras a few weeks ago, and
Right after Christmas.
after Christmas time,
Or after New Year.
And then you could hear about and get info and see if you're
So Net Lake
wanting
news.
to jump into something else. Yeah, Net Lake. I think there's a group going up this weekend. I believe
Swinging? Okay.
sometime soon. I think it's this.
I
weekend.
got invited to lead worship for something in the summer that they're doing with First Nation.
Oh, yeah.
First People, I remember what they're
Yeah.
calling it. Up in Bemidji.
Nice.
A big event.
Wow,
So we'll see
sweet.
if I can do that.
That'd be cool. Just thinking about summer makes it good, huh, for you?
Yeah.
Do you see a meme I shared the other day? I can't wait till I could complain about summer until
Yeah, I did see
instead
that.
of complain about winter.
Which is totally true about
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah,
He's never happy.
I'm often happy. I'm just not happy if it's super hot, and I'm tired
or
of
super cold.
I'm tired of this much snow this year. It's been bad.
I'm just going to complain when it's super cold. I don't mind
Yeah.
when it's super hot.
Yeah. All right, now we can talk about childcare night.
Child Care Night, April 22nd.
Man, that's so far away, isn't it?
It's
It's
more
a month
than
and
a
a
month.
half. Month and a couple days. But April 22nd, this is a cool thing. Courtney and a team that she has assembled from our kids ministry have been doing this the last year or so. A couple times this year, they've done a child care night where you could just drop off your kids from 5 to 8 and have a little date night, go do shopping, go do whatever you need to do. Maybe just go home and watch TV. But
Yeah, I
you
saw,
could drop your kids.
I saw a lot of y'all post on Facebook that night, all the different things that you guys did.
Really?
You know, people going on dates.
Yeah.
Different restaurants you guys went to.
Yep.
People were just at the grocery store as couples.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but that's so nice to just go to Target or Sam's
Without the kids.
Without kids. I mean, we hardly ever go into Target anymore. But actually, last Wednesday, while the kids were here at church Wednesday night, Jordan and I went. We just had a quick date night at Starbucks. We went to Starbucks, but we're like, I don't know, chairs were uncomfortable. It just wasn't.
You go to the Starbucks in Target?
No, and just the one in Rogers. No, we hung out there for a little bit, but then we're like, Jordan's like, I got to return at Target.
Oh, the
I'm
one next to
yeah.
Chipotle.
Like, let's just go to Target. Do your return. She had a return to make, and then we just walked around, didn't buy a thing. Just walked around Target. We both felt like we just wanted to move, like walk around or something. So, like, just go to Target, walk around,
Get your steps in.
get your steps in. But that's Saturday the 22nd from 5 to 8. It's like $5 a kid, which is a phenomenal deal.
$5 a kid, that's it?
Yeah.
For 3 hours of babysitting?
Yes.
What a deal.
Yeah, babysitting's like, I don't know. Well, we haven't paid for a babysitter for a couple of years now.
What's the
but
average rate for a babysitter?
It's like $10 to $12 an hour or something like that, probably per kid. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal
Per kid?
So yeah.
So for
Well,
you,
it depends on the sitter and like how old they are and how old your kids are and how
be
much
like
is required.
$30 an hour for you, $40 an hour?
Yeah, it'd be. Yeah, that's why like if Jordan and I still needed babysitters and wanted to go out to dinner, movie and a dinner, like you're talking
3.5,
3
4
hours, you could do
hours?
that. You could do movie and a dinner, but
So like 3 hours
Yeah.
in here.
yeah, I mean,
That'd be-
and then you throw the dinner bill on that. It's $100 night, easy. That's why we hardly ever went on dates. It's like expensive, man.
Wait, $100 night of just babysitting?
No, if you throw the dinner, like a dinner bill.
Well, no, because if you're
Maybe
like
probably
$10 an hour per kid,
yeah,
that's $30.
yeah, we would end up
3
probably
hours,
paying like
that's
40.
$90.
Yeah, I don't know if it was per hour per kid necessarily, but
Okay.
it would be
Because
it'd be 50, 60
like,
bucks.
think of a 15-year-old, 16-year-old
They make good money, man.
babysitter.
A good babysitter's
making
hard to
$100
find
bucks.
because and it's cash, man. It's
Right.
a good gig. Jordan used to babysit, and she used to make good money. She said she'd get bank on like Valentine's Day, like New Year's Eve, like some of those big holidays where folks are at parties or out late or something like that. She would make good money. But yeah, babysitting's expensive, so that's a great deal. And then they don't just like throw them in a room and tell them good luck, hope you survive till your parents get here. They do stuff with them.
Yeah.
They play games, they
Crafts.
have activities and crafts, and so it's a pretty cool thing.
But
It's,
you got to sign up. You
yeah,
got to
you do have to
pre-register your
register.
kids.
Yeah.
Go to the events page, click on the child care night image, and
Also, if you have like a middle schooler or older,
That wanna
can
help?
help. They
Okay.
can help with that. So
can you get free babysitting if you have one middle schooler and one?
I don't think so, but like if you're in the situation like we are, where we have a middle schooler that we would leave home, but for 3 hours, that's a long time to leave someone home.
Sure.
He wouldn't mind.
Do you think
He'd do fine.
he-
But
do you think there's ever an age where he's old enough where you'd just make him babysit?
well, sure, yeah,
He's getting close, isn't he?
yeah. We leave our kids home, not for 3 hours. We've left them home for an hour, hour and a half.
Been okay.
I think maybe one time about an hour and a half. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Especially now, it's like they all just want to be in front of a screen. Anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah. But click RSVP, register on that.
Yep.
I think that's all for the events and stuff coming up, at least
For now.
for now.
Yeah. There's plenty of stuff going on.
Anything else you want to close with here, Mr. AJ Schultz?
I don't think so. GREGGT. Woohoo.
Courtney.
So excited for the worship night.
See, Nadia agrees with me.
About the coffee?
Best coffee ever.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Baseball's starting soon.
that's right.
Did you get my text message about the draft?
Yeah, but I can't. I got Riley's birthday party that night.
That day?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
Well, what time was the draft?
4.
Yeah, that's right in the middle of it.
Would it be better to do it a little later?
I was thinking about not doing it anyway.
Really?
Not doing fantasy this year.
I
say
need to
this
know
every
soon.
year.
That'd be a bummer.
I say this every year.
I don't. That'd be a bummer.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'll do
I
it.
need to know soon.
I'm sure I will. I'm not doing like 6 teams again. Like I
What if
have.
I did? What if I did Saturday night instead?
Maybe
Saturday at like 6.
I might be able to make it work.
I mean, I'll text the group and see
Yeah.
if Saturday at 6 would be better for everybody.
We'll see. Were you going to do something here? Should we just have this conversation
No.
later or on?
I
the
want you to
podcast
make a
first?
decision on air
Okay.
about being on the.
This is like I feel like a kid who's making his announcement of where he's going to go to college. I've decided to take my talents to my daughter's birthday. Is more important. So
Alrighty. Thanks,
But-
everybody. Hope you're doing well. You said but. Were you saying one more thing? Nope. Have a good week.
I was going to ask about the World Baseball Classic, but
Oh.
I figured we'll spare everybody.
Yeah, we might do a live stream as it gets closer to the
Oh, yeah,
finals
we
with the
s-
World
yeah,
Baseball
let's
Classic
do that.
with Brennan. And
It's going to be Puerto Rico against Dominican Republic.
Venezuela against
Or
Dominican
yeah,
Republic.
okay.
Puerto Rico's getting. Anyway,
Yeah, I just-
have a good one. Have a good rest of the week. Hope to see you this weekend. And say goodbye, Greg.
Goodbye, Greg.
Goodbye, Greg. Good night, Ned. Night, Ned.
You know Ned Niederlander's a real person?
Who is it?
Wasn't that the character, Ned? Wasn't that his name?
In the Three Amigos?
Yeah.
It was a Niederlander?
Ned Niederlander?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
saw
We're
it.
still rolling, by the way.